Grand Theft Auto 6 is right around the corner despite the delays, and if Rockstar's website is to be believed, the release date is less than a year away, and with the launch inching closer, more and more information is starting to trickle out. Several things have leaked recently about Grand Theft Auto 6, including some details about the campaign's length, the map size, the density, and some new release date drama, and so much more. Will Grand Theft Auto 6 get delayed? We're going to talk about that and more, guys. We have a lot to cover, so check the chapters for easy viewing. But real quick, guys, if you ever game with your friends and have a few drinks, you know how rough the next day can feel. And as I've gotten older, I kind of accepted that if I did some drinking, the next day would just kind of be a disaster. I try to sleep through it most of the time, but when the grind is real, you kind of just have to work through the pain. But that pain can be mitigated thanks to today's video sponsor, ZBiotics. They hit me up about this opportunity. I told them I didn't drink much, but I just so happened to be playing a lot of Beer Kart with my brother. We both took it before we started playing, and it worked pretty well. ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. And here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut, and it's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. And pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. You can check out ZBiotics pre-alcohol via the link in the description. So the first piece of GTA 6 news that I want to go over is the size of the main campaign or story, because while Rockstar is known for having lengthy stories in their single player experiences, a recent leak is suggesting that GTA 6 is going to bring things to a whole new level. According to the leaks, the main GTA 6 campaign is going to be roughly 75 hours long, and that's without you exploring the side missions and just having the urge to explore everything. The leak suggests that the main game will start with a 2-hour prologue, and there will be 5 main chapters. Chapter 1 will be 6 hours long, Chapter 2 will be 13, Chapter 3 will be 16 hours, 4 will be a whopping 22 hours, and then Chapter 5 will be 16 hours, which that brings the total runtime of the campaign to around 75 hours long. So to put that into perspective, a lot of the RPGs like The Witcher 3 and Dark Souls hover around the 40-hour mark. So GTA 6 is allegedly going to be twice the length of an RPG despite not actually being one, which is pretty wild. Now here's my take. I think it's going to be 75 hours with the side content included. One, I don't know how much I trust like this report of it being 75 hours long. I think that that's a vast over exaggeration. I would say 75 hours with 50 hours of the main content, like the main missions, and then 25 hours it's just all side content and stuff like that. That I see being possible, but 75 hours that's just straight up main missions is almost impossible, but only time will tell. It would be absolutely insane if it's 75 hours for the main missions and then another like 25 plus for all the side content. But let's be real, like we're all gonna spend like over 75 hours in the main campaign regardless, due to just like exploring the map and, you know, trying to get as many 5 stars as possible. You know, just the basic stuff you do on a GTA game. Next up, an ongoing topic of conversation among community members has been the absolutely amazing GTA 6 mapping project, which has been taking elements of official material like the trailers, screenshots, and mixing them in with leaks from several years ago in order to give us a detailed look at what the finished GTA 6 map might actually end up looking like. So far, tons of amazing work has been done, and we recently got some new updates. And while some people saw these updates as a bad thing, I actually feel the opposite way. Some recent updates to the GTA 6 mapping project have actually started shaving away certain elements, including the fan-dubbed panhandle section. And while some people see this as a bad thing, I actually think it gives us a better idea of what the map is going to look like. And frankly, the map before cuts was almost too good to be true, let's be real. Recent versions of the GTA 6 mapping project have shown us something that is absolutely gigantic and fiercely detailed, which I'm not ruling out is going to be similar to the final project, but there was definitely some room to trim some fat and still be left with an amazing and gigantic map. Now, the GTA 6 mapping project is about to get really refined as more official details come out, which means we're inevitably going to see some of it get trimmed away, but what we're going to be left with is is going to be absolutely incredible. So I really don't think we should be looking at the loss of certain sections as a bad thing. Rather, we should be looking at it as a more accurate representation of what we're getting for GTA 6, because what we're still seeing is looking really good. Again, the map as portrayed by recent versions of the mapping project was freaking huge, so there was definitely room for some things to be trimmed out or cut without actually sacrificing the experience of a massive GTA 6 map. But while we're talking about things that seem up in the air, there have been some rumors going around that the release date listed for GTA 6 isn't exactly accurate. And granted, this could end up being some reverse hopium from the community, because I know a lot of us are just a little hesitant to believe that GTA 6 is actually as close as it seems. But according to some new rumors, the current release date for GTA 6 isn't exactly set in stone, and they don't actually plan on releasing the game until later in the year, potentially in September or October, like other GTA games have launched. And I guess it wouldn't be out of character for Rockstar to delay GTA 6 again, but honestly, I'm not sure where I stand on this one just yet. Now, I'm sure we're gonna know pretty soon one way or another, but just don't be surprised if you see more and more people start talking about how GTA 6 will be delayed, because that theory is getting quite a bit of traction online. I mean, if we're being real, like a Rockstar game that doesn't get delayed twice, is it really a Rockstar game? So yeah, I personally don't believe the release date fully. Like, I do think that it could slip to September like so easily, and people wouldn't bat an eye. Like, let's be real, going from May to September is a pretty soft blow, and if it means getting a better game, honestly, I say delay it, but only if it means that they're going to be able to polish it and also give us the PC version a lot quicker without having to wait like another 8 months for that port. And while we're on the topic of numbers and such, a leaker has recently came out with a very strange report that seems in line with what other companies have been doing recently, but it's probably not going to be very well received if it ends up being true. According to some inside sources who may or may not be legit, Rockstar and Take-Two Interactive are actually going to be adding some kind of age verification to GTA Online 2, or whatever GTA 6's multiplayer component ends up being called, and I think they're actively working on it for GTA Online. This comes after a slew of other companies started to add age and identity verification to their services, and basically none of these additions have been received well. But according to the source, GTA 6 is going to have an official age verification in order to access the online portion of the game, which I don't have a hard time believing that, especially due to, I believe it was legislation in the UK that was passed that started requiring some game companies to do that. But with how inappropriate a lot of the content in GTA Online 1 has been, and how obviously toxic a lot of the voice chats get across all platforms, I can see why a major company like Take-Two Interactive is now feeling like they have to do something. But again, I believe it's due to that legislation in the UK that's caused all of this drama. But then again, I'm not sure Take-Two would care at all about this situation, because I'm sure they're 100% aware that a lot of their current player base is under that immature rating, and since they have created one of the most profitable games in history, I don't think they're feeling much pressure to change their strategy, if that makes sense. Because while a ton of people are playing GTA 5 and GTA Online, despite not hitting that immature rating, it's not like Take-Two or Rockstar have received much punishment for that, because GTA 5 and Online are generating millions of dollars a month despite being over a decade old. And at the end of the day, if they have to follow the law, then they will add some kind of verification to the next version of GTA Online. But this is one that I'll have to wait and see what happens to believe it. Like, I have a feeling that it will happen, but who knows? One point of conversation about GTA 6 recently has been the price point, and this has become quite a bit of a complicated topic due to some leaks from various online retailers. Take-Two Interactive has openly stated that they think the games should be more expensive, and with how many copies GTA 6 is going to sell, it seems pretty believable that they're going to try and price it as high as they can get away with it. Not too long after Take-Two made comments about games being more expensive, we saw companies like Nintendo and Microsoft start pricing their games at $80, despite most people not being on board with the price increase to $70 a few years ago. Since the jump to $80, fans have been absolutely vocal about their distaste for the second price hike of this console generation, and while Microsoft has backed off of $80 games, other publishers haven't budged. Granted, not many publishers actually adopted the $80 price point, but out of the two major ones, Microsoft and Nintendo, only 50% have actually acknowledged the backlash and adjusted accordingly. Now, it's not totally out of the question that GTA 6 launches for the standard $70, but many have expressed that if anybody is going to take advantage of everything getting more expensive, it's going to be Take-Two Interactive. I mean, this is the same company that pumped out a re-release of Red Dead Redemption 1 last year for $50, despite it not even having all of the content from the original game. Some have suggested that GTA 6 is going to be $80 or more for the standard edition, but recently we got a new inside report from a leaker who claimed that GTA 6 is going to be a $70 price tag for the standard edition at launch, but this contradicts the leaks from a couple of European retailers earlier this year that accidentally made their GTA 6 store page live too early and showed off a price point that is roughly translated to roughly $100 USD. So needless to say, the price point is still entirely up in the air. On one hand, I could see Take-Two wanting to avoid controversy and pricing the game at $70. Then again, on the other hand, I could see why Take-Two is saying screw it and letting GTA 6's hype train push them to even higher revenue records with $80 or even $100 price tags. They know that this game is going to break records regardless of what happens with the price, so they could very easily bump the price tag to something higher than $70 and see an instant huge jump in their profit margins. With the game's launch less than a year away, the pre-orders are going to have to go up soon, and that's when we're going to get our answer as to what Rockstar and Take-Two are doing with the pricing. But then again, we are also getting conflicting stories about this, so really only time will tell. But that's going to wrap it up with this video, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe with the noties on, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.